So this is our stretching video. We're going to begin standing. You're going to want to use a mat for this eventually, but not right now. So let's begin standing. We're going to hold each stretch for about 30 seconds. So we're going to reach down, touch our toes, slight bend in our knees. You want to keep the back as flat as possible. If you can't touch your toes, just go as far down as you can. And remember to breathe. So let's just stay here for about 30 seconds. You feel this in your hamstrings and the backs of your calves, maybe in the backs of your knees a little bit. And as you stay here, you can either feel comfortable here or you can go a little deeper. Make sure to keep a slight bend in those knees. As you can see, I'm not locking my knees, I'm very straight. Nice deep breaths. Alright, so from there we're going to stand back up. Spread your legs about this far, or as far as you can get them towards this. Again, flat back, slight bend in my knees, I'm going to reach forward. Now you might not be able to get to the ground. If you can, that's great. If not, you just want to hold as far as you can here. You should feel this stretch down the backs of your hamstrings again, maybe a little bit on the outside of your hips because you've got your legs a little spread out. Reach for the ground as much as possible. Don't curl your back under, that's going to hurt your shoulders. Stay nice and tall with your chest. If you can't touch the ground, that's okay. As you get lower, maybe try to reach a little farther for the ground. Breathe here. And from here, we're going to walk our hands to our right foot, maybe our right shin and knee. The deeper you can go, the better. Your feet should stay parallel to the edges of the mat, so we want to keep our feet facing forward to keep our knees safe. It's okay to round your back a little here. You should feel this a little more on the inside of this leg and on the back of your hamstring still. Deep breath. From here, I want you to pull back on this leg just a little bit if you can. That'll make you feel it right in here on your inner thigh. So pull back just a little. Hold for 2 seconds and come back down. Let's do that one more time. Pull back and up. Alright, let's walk it around the other leg. Remember, you might be at your shin, that's okay. Reach down as far as you can go. Keep those feet pointed forward. Keep the knees safe. Feel that stretch in the back of your hamstring. Make sure we're still breathing. You can start to pull back on that leg again like we did the other side. Pulling back, feeling that in here, inside the inside of our leg, and pull back up. One more time, pull back, hold for a couple seconds, really feel that stretch here, come back up. Alright. Alright, so our next set of stretches is going to be done against a wall. So I want your hands on the wall about at the height of your shoulders. We're focusing on calf stretches here. So just go one leg, maybe bring this leg forward, maybe back, wherever it feels comfortable. You should feel that stretch mainly in your calf. Then bend your leg, feel it in the front of your shin and the ankle. And back up. Bend that leg. Stretch. And bend. And stretch. You should be feeling this when we're back like this in the back of your calf. When we're down like this in the front of the ankle and in the shin. It's where I feel it most. And switch legs. Again, we should be feeling this in the calf. Feel free to have this foot anywhere you like that's comfortable. I feel most comfortable in a lunge. That's why we're against the wall though. So you could use that for a little bit of hand support. Bring that knee forward. You should feel this in the front of the shin, maybe in the sides a little bit, in the ankle, and back. Bring forward. And back. Let's go one more time, forward. And back. So the next stretch is a shoulder stretch. So from the wall, should be about a foot away from the wall, foot and a half. Bring your arms up. You're just going to bow your head towards the wall with your shoulders going up. You should feel this in the back of your shoulders, maybe in the tops a little bit, maybe in the sides of the body. It's okay to rest your head. Your body should be kind of leaning into it. You should feel it in the back of the shoulders. Play around and move side to side a little. Whatever feels like you get a really good stretch there. Remember to breathe in this position. It's easy to stop. And release. Alright, so now we're going to start with our stretches laying down. You're going to need a band for this, but not right now, so let's put that off to the side. Let's start down in the back. Bring those legs into the chest. Hold wherever feels comfortable. That's hugging. Or if that's just holding your shins or your knees, try to pull those knees as close to your chest as you can. Make sure your head and neck aren't straining up like this, but they're nice and down, flat on the mat. This is going to get those hips ready for the stretches that we're about to do, so let's hold this. Take a couple good breaths here. Okay, so we're going to bring one leg down, out onto the mat. You can set that on the ground. We're going to bring one knee up. Now this is where I really want you to start to pull that knee towards your chest. Feel it maybe back here. I feel a little bit in the hip flexor, maybe a little bit in the side of your hip too. You want to try to bring that knee straight up to your shoulder. We're not twisting or anything here. And try to keep your hips perpendicular to that knee, so we're not twisting like this. Try to bring this leg up like that, straight up, and hold. Remember to keep that neck and shoulders relaxed, and breathe. Feel free to move your ankles around here. It's also a good time to do that. And let's switch legs. Bring the other leg down. Bring the other knee back up. And pull. Remember to keep this all in line here. We're not trying to rotate our hip up or anything to get that knee a little higher. As far as you can go, that's okay. Your neck and shoulders are relaxed. And we're breathing. And again, feel free to play with that ankle. Mine cracks a little here if you want to stretch that out. And your other foot should be completely on the floor. That'll help stretch out that other hip flexor over here. So we're really trying to separate these two parts of our body. All right. Now let's bring the other leg up. I want you to placing your left hand on your opposite hand on the ground. For stability, I want you to open that knee outward. So I'm going here to out, just like I'm opening a door. Not pulling it up any farther. Still keeping this other leg on the ground. I'm just opening up as far as you can go. I have my hand on my knee, but if it's more comfortable, you can put your hand on your inner thigh. You feel this on the inside of this hip and the outside of this hip. And we're going to breathe. So now let's bring that same knee, opposite hand. The other hand comes out onto the ground to stabilize yourself. Let's try to pull that up and over your other leg towards this shoulder. Still keeping your other leg flat on the ground as flat as possible. You should feel this on the outside of your hip. If the knee isn't available to you, use your thigh. And we're breathing. Alright, so let's repeat that with the other leg. Bring that up. Other leg goes straight out. Heel on the ground. Bring it up. I'm going to open my hip out. This arm extend sideways to keep me balanced. All I'm doing is opening my hip up. Feel on the inside of your hip, your groin. Head and shoulders are relaxed. If the knee isn't available to you like it is here, go ahead and use the inside of your thigh or even your shin, whatever is most comfortable. Remember, we're not trying to bring this up towards our shoulder, just out, like we're opening a door. And breathe. Alright, so let's bring that leg up. Switch arms. This arm goes out now. Leaving this leg straight and on the ground, and we're just trying to bring this knee up towards our shoulder now. You should feel it on the outside of your hip, maybe in your butt a little. If the knee isn't available to you, grab your shin or your calf. We're just trying to bring that knee up and towards this shoulder. Keep breathing. Alright, slowly release that knee. Let's extend both legs. Let's sit up for a moment. We're going to grab that band and we're going to do a hamstring stretch. I want you to lay down. That band is going to go under your foot. You're going to lay down. And that foot extends all the way up to a right angle with the ground, or as far as you can go. That band is just going to help you because it's hard to reach up and grab your foot. So grab that band however close or however far you need to. It's okay if your leg only comes up to here. We're working on that hamstring flexibility. So you can see I'm not flexible. That's what we're working on. So let's bring the chest open on the ground, holding that band, pulling towards ourselves. Don't pull too hard. And that foot should be flexed at the top. And breathe. Now, if you want to, I'm going to give you the option to pause the video and use the band to open up your leg to the sides as well, here. Or you can just stick with this. Some people find that the band is a little easier to open up your hip with because you can hold out your leg. Hold out your leg. This would be a really good one for before hockey. But right now we're just focusing on the straight hamstring stretch. 2 more breaths here. And let's switch. So slowly bring your leg down. Wrap the band around the other foot. Leg down. Pull this leg up using the band. You should really feel this in your hamstrings. Breathe. Make sure your arms and shoulders are relaxed, that you're not trying to force yourself up with your abs or your neck. Really just using the band to pull our leg back here. And again, if you want to pause the video and choose to open up your hips out and in with the band, that's perfectly okay too. That's a really good one. But let's just focus on the straight 90-degree angle right here. Let's take 3 more breaths. Alright, so I'm slowly going to pull my way back up to seated position again. It's the last time we're going to need the band today. So I'm going to scoot back onto my mat just a little bit. In this sitting up position, I want you to reach for those toes. So I can grab mine. That's available to me just because I just use the band to stretch out my hamstrings. If it's not, bend your knees slightly and go for it. I don't want you to try to round your back and go for it. Keep nice and tall. Bend your knees if you need to. We want to get to the point where we can go like with our feet and our legs completely on the ground. But if that's not available, go for the ankles and bend your knees just a little bit. This is going to keep opening up those hamstrings. The tighter you are here, the harder it's going to be to get the front side moving. So we got to lengthen those hamstrings a little. That's what my trainers always tell me. My hamstrings are not flexible enough. Make sure you're still breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Alright, come back up to seated. I want you to try to grab one foot and place it on top of your knee. If that's not available to you, on your shin, farther down your shin, really looking just to bring the knee up a little bit. For me, I'm going to go up a little higher. From here, I'm going to place one hand on my ankle. The ankle should be over the leg, not the foot. That puts the ankle at risk. So again, the ankle directly over the leg. I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to apply gently pressure downward on that knee. I'm going to open up this hip joint. We're going to stay here. Let's breathe for 5. If at any point this becomes painful, stop, bring the leg up, stop applying pressure, and come back. Don't do anything that's painful. Should feel a nice stretch, but it shouldn't hurt. As you sit here, if you want to feel like you could go a little farther, bring your leg a little farther up, go ahead and do that. Bring on that rotation of that hip outwards. Alright, slowly release. Let's bring the other leg up. Again, ankle over leg, that keeps the ankle safe. I'm a little tighter on this side from serving. So I'm going to bring the ankle up just a little far, not as far as I did the last one. Hand over my ankle, which rests on my leg. I'm going to apply pressure with the other hand on the side of my knee. Pressure is being applied straight down. We don't want to try to pull up or out right here. Try to keep your chest up. Don't round the shoulders. Nice and tall, and breathe. This is a position where people tend to cramp, so if you start to cramp, go ahead and release and try to come back into this hold. I tend to cramp, especially in this hip on this side. Don't think it's going to happen today, but we'll see. One more breath. And release. So our last stretch is going to be a butterfly. So we're going to bring both legs up. Toes should meet. If it's this far out, that's fine. Mine's going to be a little farther in today. We want to bring our feet in, legs up. Legs do not have to be on the floor. We're going to lean forward a little bit so we can feel that in our inner thigh and in our insides of our hips. Try to maintain that posture. I like to have my hands on my feet, but some people like to have their hands on their elbows, so when they lean forward, they can kind of push their knees down a little bit. I'm not as flexible, so that hurts a little bit in here for me to put pressure there, but whatever you find most comfortable. We do want to be leaning forward slightly to feel that stretch. So I'll show you from the side. I am up, and I'm going to lean forward slightly, and it varies based on how far your feet are. You might feel that stretch differently if your feet are a little farther out, but as far as you're able to take them in is perfect. As we sit in the stretch a little longer, see if you can maybe move forward a little, bring those feet a little closer in as your hips loosen. And this is going to be our last stretch for today. Feel free to complete this after you bike, before you bike. I would say after probably. But definitely before we work out. And if you need additional stretches after this, feel free to do those on your own as well. I'm going to sit here for 2 more breaths. That's going to be it. Good job stretching today. Hope to see you tomorrow.